I'm Lily Miller, 35 years old, standing in the corner of my parents' opulent ballroom. The champagne in my hand is trembling, mirroring the unease in my heart. My younger brother, Ethan's engagement party, is in full swing around me. The crystal chandeliers sparkle. The guests are dressed in designer gowns, and their smiles are as perfect as a painted portrait, just like the facade of our family life. I'm always the shadow in Ethan's bright spotlight. Then, my father taps his glass to get everyone's attention. We're thrilled to announce a special gift for Ethan and his fiancée, Olivia. To help you start your new life together, we're giving you $1.5 million. The crowd erupts in applause, and Ethan looks genuinely surprised and happy. But then, my father's eyes land on me, and his next words cut through me like a knife. If only you could be more like your brother, Lily. You're such a disappointment. My heart shatters into a million pieces. How could he say that in front of everyone? I feel the tears welling up in my eyes, but I hold them back, not wanting to give him the satisfaction of seeing me cry. Just then, I catch Grandma Amelia's eye across the room. Her gaze is warm and reassuring, as if she's telling me that everything will be okay. As I stand there, the memories of my childhood come flooding back. I grew up in a large mansion in Beverly Hills, surrounded by wealth and privilege. My parents, Richard and Isabella Miller, built their media empire from the ground up, turning a small advertising agency into one of the most influential media companies in the country. In our family, success was defined by money, status, and power. Ethan was the golden child from the very beginning. He was smart, athletic, and charming. By the age of 10, he was already winning national chess championships. By 15, he was the captain of the football team and a straight-A student. My parents couldn't have been prouder of him. I, on the other hand, was different. I was drawn to the world of art. Colors, shapes, and textures spoke to me in a way that numbers and business deals never could. I would spend hours in my room, painting and drawing, creating my own little worlds. When I was 13, I entered a local art competition and won first place. I was so excited, thinking that my parents would finally see my talent. But all my mother said was, "That's nice, dear. But you can't make a living from painting." Grandma Amelia was the only one who truly understood me. She lived in a small cottage in the countryside, away from the glitz and glamour of our family life. She was a retired art teacher, and her home was filled with books, paintings, and sculptures. Whenever I visited her, she would make me hot cocoa and listen to me talk about my art for hours. "Your art has a soul, Lily," she would say. "Never let anyone tell you that it's not important." As I got older, I tried to please my parents. I joined the debate team in high school because public speaking was an important skill in the business world. I took advanced business courses in college, even though they bored me to tears. I dated the son of one of my father's business partners, even though our conversations were as dry as dust. In my senior year of college, I was accepted into the prestigious Parsons School of Design with a full scholarship. It was a dream come true for me. But my parents were furious. "Artists starve, Lily. We've given you every opportunity, and you're throwing it all away on some silly paintings," my father said. After weeks of their relentless pressure, I gave in and accepted a job at my father's company. I graduated from college with good grades, but I felt empty inside. I was living someone else's life, not my own. For the next 10 years, I worked at the company, but I never felt fulfilled. I was just going through the motions, trying to meet my parents' expectations. Finally, after a particularly soul-crushing project, I decided to quit. I moved into a small apartment in downtown LA and started taking art classes again. I built up a small portfolio and began selling my paintings at local art fairs. It was a struggle at first, and my parents were constantly on my case, calling me a hobbyist and asking when I would grow up. But I didn't care. I was finally doing what I loved. I also started a community art program called Art for All, which offered free art classes to underprivileged kids in the neighborhood. It was the most rewarding thing I had ever done. Just last week, I faced another setback. A well-known art gallery that I had been courting for months rejected my portfolio. I was devastated, But I refused to give up. That's when the invitation to Ethan's engagement party arrived. I almost threw it away, but something inside me made me RSVP. Now, here I am at the party, being publicly humiliated by my father. I'm about to make a hasty exit when Grandma Amelia approaches me. Don't let him get to you, Lily. Your father has his own ideas about success, but they're not the only ones that matter. She takes my hand and leads me to a quiet corner of the room. She then tells me a story about her own life. When she married my grandfather, she was a young art teacher from a humble background. My grandfather's family didn't approve of her, but he fought for their relationship. After my grandfather died, my father inherited the company and became obsessed with expanding it. He lost touch with his own creative side and started judging everyone by his narrow definition of success. Grandma Amelia also reveals that she's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. She has only a few months left to live. But I'm not afraid, Lily. I've had a good life, and I've made peace with it. And I've decided to do something about your situation. She tells me that my grandfather left her a large inheritance, which she's been keeping secret from my parents. I've revised my will. The majority of my estate will go towards expanding your Art for All program. I'm going to establish the Amelia Miller Foundation for Art Education, and you'll be its director. I'm stunned. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Grandma, you don't have to do this, I say, tears streaming down my face. She smiles and says, yes, I do. True success is about following your heart and making a difference in the world. Your art and your program have the power to change lives, and I want to help you make that happen. With that, Grandma Amelia takes the microphone and addresses the party. I'd like to say a few words. I've watched both my grandchildren grow up, and I'm incredibly proud of them. Ethan has achieved great things in the business world, and I'm happy for him. But I also want to recognize Lily's achievements. Her art is a gift, and her Art for All program is a beacon of hope for so many children. So, I'm announcing the establishment of the Amelia Miller Foundation for Art Education with an initial endowment of $20 million, and Lily will be leading it. The room falls silent for a moment, and then there's a collective gasp. My parents' faces turn white, and Ethan looks at me with a mix of surprise and admiration. After the party, Ethan approaches me. Lily, I'm really sorry about what Dad said. It was completely out of line. And what Grandma did is amazing. I've always known you were talented, but I never had the courage to say it. I'm touched by his apology. It's the first time he's ever stood up for me. In the following months, the foundation starts to take shape. We lease a large studio space in the heart of LA and hire a team of art teachers. Ethan and Olivia even offer to help with the administrative work, and Olivia, who has a background in art history, becomes an active member of the foundation's board. My parents are initially furious, but after a few failed attempts to challenge the will, they realize that they can't stop it. Slowly, they start to come around. My mother even visits the studio one day and tells me, "Your grandmother would be proud of you." It's the closest thing to an apology I've ever received from her. Grandma Amelia's health deteriorates rapidly, but she's determined to attend the foundation's grand opening. She arrives in a wheelchair, looking frail, but still full of spirit. The event is a huge success, with artists, community leaders, and even some of my parents' business associates in attendance. A week after the opening, Grandma Amelia passes away peacefully in her sleep. Her funeral is a simple and beautiful affair, just the way she wanted it. At the funeral, Ethan gives a touching speech about how Grandma had always encouraged him to follow his own dreams, even if they were different from our parents. In the years since Grandma Amelia's passing, the foundation has flourished. We've provided scholarships to dozens of young artists, established partnerships with schools across the city, and hosted several successful art exhibitions. And I've finally found peace and fulfillment in my life. I'm no longer living in Ethan's shadow, and I'm proud of the person I've become. Sometimes, the most painful moments in our lives can lead to the greatest transformations. Grandma Amelia's love and support gave me the courage to break free from my parents' expectations and follow my own path. And I'll always be grateful for that.